I think it's time we update the combo guide because the last one is a bit outdated and we have a slightly different extra deck. We have a new spell that boosts the deck's consistency so we can change the way we think about the ending board. Because sometimes we need to have such an impressive board that can just guarantee game. But now that we have the deck consistent enough to play non-engine, we're allowed to be a little bit more lenient on what we end on, but a bit more versatile. And I'll be showing you guys two combos. The first one is going to be with Junk Converter, and the other one is going to be with Doppel Warrior. Doppel Warrior is possibly the best 2-card combo the deck has, but for now, we're going to be focusing on Junk Converter. The good thing about Junk Converter is that you can pair him with almost any tuner hand trap, which is good for the deck's consistency, meaning you can play non-engine, interact, and if it becomes redundant, then you could give it purpose by making it a combo piece. Just simply discard itself and Junk Converter to search your Junk Synchron, which is really good. Okay, let's get started. So you can literally discard any hand trap with this, but for now, we'll just discard Junk. Discard, add a Junk Synchron, normal summon Junk Synchron, activate effect, targeting your Junk Converter, impermanence, release. Special Junk Converter, Synchro summon for Junk Speeder, and this is where you can dodge Ash, but not Impervader. Just keep that in mind. Only Doppel can do that. So you activate effects, chain 1, chain 2, targeting your Junk Synchron. Then summon your Stardust, your Junk, and your Jet. On summon, you'll search Stardust Illumination off of Stardust Synchron's effect, because it searches a spell trap that lists Stardust Dragon in its text. And in the future, one of these will be replaced with Revolution Synchron because it's level 3. But at the very minimum, you need to play 2. Because there's going to be times where you open this and you only play 1 and you can't search Revolution Synchron to summon this back. So at the very minimum, you need to play 2. Okay, so then you activate Stardust Illumination. In this first combo, I'll be showing you guys the memory line. And then after, I'll show you guys the combos without memory. Because you can do that now. I mean, you could do that before, but not as good. You then use Stardust Illumination's second effect. You banish it from your graveyard. Target a Stardust monster you control. Either increase or reduce its level by 1. So we're going to target Stardust Synchron. So he is a level 5 now. Synchro summon your Baron. And now the Stardust Synchron is in your graveyard. You can tribute a monster you control to special summon it from your hand or grave. Tribute the Junk Synchron. Special. Since one of your monsters was tributed, you can trigger the effect of Stardust Trail. If one of your monsters is tributed, summon her from hand or grave. Okay, now you're going to Synchro summon into your Yazi. Trail gets banished. Synchro summon Yazi. You're going to use Baron's second effect, destroy a card in the field, destroying Yazi. Triggering the effect of Yazi, special summoning a worm from deck. Special, the Mammoth, the dreadful Mammoth. We hate drawing this guy, but it's just so good. And then you use Mammoth's effect, reducing its level by 1, summoning a token. Now you have Librarian. Stardust gets banished. You go for your TG, you use Mammoth's effect once more. And now you have Shaman. Chaining 1, chaining 2. Sometimes you'll search Junk Converter off of Jet Synchron's other effect, but for now, since we already utilized Converter's effect to revive a tuner, we don't need to do that. Bring back Junk Converter, draw a card. You use Mammoth's effect for the third time, and then you have a 6. You Synchro summon Stardust Charge, so chain 1, chain 2. And then now you have Marcher. Chain 1, chain 2. Summon your Shaman back. Draw a card. And this is your Accel Stardust Synchro Dragon. Chain 1, chain 2. Revive your Shaman. Draw a card. And then right here, it'll be very dependent on what you prefer. I usually end on an Omega with this. because it ensures that you can get a bit of resources back, which you can trail and then snipe a card from your opponent's hand, which is kind of like an Omni. It's a card for a card, you know, kind of. And then you ensure that you get a card of a field presence for the following turn. This doesn't seem like much, but it's meant to just be a hindrance for your opponent to deal with. And then you follow it up on the following turn, right? Through the deck consistency. Because you have an Omni, a Hand Rip, and a Nuke, right? So on their turn, you activate the effect of Accel's Stardust Synchro Dragon. Special summon your Stardust Dragon. And then you nuke, right? And it's immune. They can't negate it and they can't interact with it, which is really cool. So then you have the option of popping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards. It's overkill, but like you get the point, right? You can pop all their back row against Trap Tricks, against Labyrinth, any back row deck. Because that's something the deck kind of had issues with, where you end on your board and you were like, oh my goodness, I can't deal with back row. But even then, even with this, you reinforce it with the cards you've drawn off TG, right? So depending on what it is you draw, okay, so you draw more interactions, right? So with that in mind, you have follow-up for next turn. This guy will come back. You have Junk Synchron, and you just capitalize and end the game the following turn, right? That's the point. All right, so now what happens when we don't play this? Because that's different. And there's a few variations you can do, which is pretty cool. So we're going to start off with the same cards. Discard, add a Junk Synchron. Summon, activate effect, special Jerk Converter. Chain 1, Chain 2, Stardust, Junk, Jet, Search, Illumination. So this is where the first variation is going to happen, where you can take it a few different ways, which is interesting because you can use the second effect to summon the Stardust monster from your deck to the field if you control a Stardust Dragon, or you control a Synchro monster that lists Stardust Dragon in its text. So we'll do that. Synchro for your Stardust. This is because you want to use Accel's effect to revive a level 2 or lower tuner from your graveyard. Activate Illumination, special summon Trail. You then go into Accel. Trail has a separate effect. If you make a Stardust, a Warrior, or a Synchro with it, you get a token. And this time, we are going to search object sequence effect. So you're going to go Chaining 1, Chaining 2, token. And then now, you're going to use Accel Synchron's effect, spending a Stardust Synchron, to reduce its level. So it becomes a level 1. Then you have Shaman. Effect. Summon the Junk Converter you search and the Junk Converter in your graveyard. And then now you go into TG, you Synchro 6, Chain 1, Chain 2. Then now you go into Accel. The only issue with this line is you can't set up a Satellite Warrior on their turn because you need to be able to summon a Stardust Dragon from your extra deck. So that's out of the question now. So Chain 1, Chain 2, draw a card. And then now you make a Baron. Whether you want to make a Baron here, there, draw on the card. And right here, you can either tribute this or tribute this. You know, it's up to you. But once we get Assault Synchron, tributing this will be much better because then you can summon it back with Assault Synchron. You can tribute the monster, which is pretty cool. But for now, you just tribute. Special. Special. And you go into an Omega. So the end board is very different. It's not as versatile, right? Because like Stardust is okay, but like it's kind of outdated. So you take what you can get with him. And then you have a Hand Rip, and then you have hand traps depending on what it is you draw, which is why TG is so crucial because it reinforces this, right? It makes a suboptimal end board a bit more resilient with this backing it up, but there's more. Okay, so we're back here. So you can do another route, right? Synchro 10 to Baron. You didn't activate Illumination. Sending your trail. You didn't activate Stardust Engrave. Distributing one of your junks. Special. Triggering trail. Special. And now you Synchro 8. Chain 1. Chain 2. Gives you a token. And now you have Shaman. Chain 1, Chain 2, add Converter, resolve Shaman, Summon Converter you just added, and the one you used earlier in that turn. And right here, it'll vary depending on what your extra deck looks like, but I want to keep drawing, so we'll TG. And then activate effect, distribute it, special Stardust, and then you Synchro with these two. You Synchro summon twice, so you draw twice. The board is different, but it's another route you can do. And that's versatility. Have a completely different board. You know, it's just wild what it can do. And you can branch off those two variations because you can also use his effect to pop the jet, to then get the jet to graveyard. It's pretty the same way you can do. But that's just very marginal things you can do, but you can mess around with it. But this is meant to be a blueprint of what is available now and what we can do, because your extra deck might look different. You might prefer a particular boss monster, but as of now, from what the extra deck looks like, this is what you get. And that's it for this video, and in the next one I'll be going over the doppel lines, which is insane. Hopefully it was insightful, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and yeah.